Yo, what's up, people? Happy Tuesday. Uh, Today was just another day, and if you were able to see my post recently with my Forex funds, which I'll do a new video for that. Um, I finally reached out to their support, was able to get an extension, and they're actually very generous. They gave me 28 days more, so my process is slow and steady. I've always been this way, to be honest. Even with my previous trading, it's always been slow and steady. That's what wins the race. Many times when we start, we want things fast, and although it is very possible, that comes gradually. And I think what's most important is realize that everyone moves at different stages and at different speeds, depending on whatever it is you're ready to, take in, right? Um, there's a bunch of different sayings that all, and I think one of my favorites is the teacher appears when the student is ready to listen. But anyways, let's get into euro dollar here. This you'll notice that I really don't have nothing much to say about pound dollar, or let me see, dollar CAD. There really wasn't anything I was watching in particular. There's not really setups that occurred, at least for my liking, which are type A setups. At least not for pound or for dollar CAD. So I'm not going to be going over those today. Maybe tomorrow, or maybe sometime this week if something good happens. So far today was really euro dollar was the one that had caught my eye. And let's go into euro dollar. We had broken out this daily high right there, and you can see we obviously made we went into this fair value gap here on the daily time frame right there. I'm actually going to color code that, and it's important that you can color code these fair value gaps in different time frames. That way you know what it is that you're looking at. My gray ones I use is my weekly, and you can see the market hit right at the tip, right to the T. That's how ICT shows us. Came straight down. We took out sell stops here, liquidity, and it looks like we want to push higher. This is one thing too when it comes to daily bias. You don't always need to know where the market's going. Sometimes I get confused too. So if you have that feeling where you get confused or you're not really sure about it, I think that's an okay thing to happen, because we're all still new to this. We're still learning, right? And so I think it's better to just let those thoughts, roam and set free. And what I mean by that is that many times we try to hold on to these thoughts, and that causes more pain because we're trying to do something that we're not sure about, right? And if you guys understand that, hopefully you'll know what I mean by just letting it go. Sometimes I don't even know what market can do until I come in here on my New York Times session morning, my trading session, and then I finally figure out, oh, okay, I see what's trying to happen here. I see what's going on. And so anyways, this morning he came in here. We took out buy side liquidity here. This was from what's that? From Monday's trading. By the way, I don't trade Monday. The reason why is because of news. There was no news on Monday. I know there was some news pretty late in the day, but I don't trade at that point. So there was no news at the 8:30 or 9:30 Eastern time. So I just don't trade Mondays usually. But anyway, you can see that was taken out here. We're coming back into this daily fair value gap here. Obviously, it was already rebalanced. So if anything, we're going to be looking to take out stops here if the market wants to continue higher. But the beauty thing is that it'll be interesting to see what happens. I assume all these lows here, what are these? These are, if you watch ICT, that's relative equal lows. All that here, if you drop down to the 60-minute, that looks a lot more clear. And so it really depends. If we come up here to take out this buy side liquidity, then we're going to come down pretty hard and take out all these This is pretty much like a triple, quadruple bottom at this point. At this level is just being defended. We might even just take out this here, this area right there, buy side liquidity. This will never be taken. That's another prediction, right? It'll come up here and then come straight back down. Hopefully tomorrow. It is a Tuesday, so we'll see what happens. And then tomorrow's a Wednesday. Wednesdays are pretty good days to place trades, and as how ICT mentions, if you don't place a trade within a Monday or Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is really not needed. However, that's just a discipline if you want to follow that, because being less time in the markets, especially for new people, means less mistakes, so to speak. Even for me as a seasoned trader, you you can easily make a mistake, and I'm aware of that. But many times, what you do is you learn to manage yourself psychologically, and you kind of learn to understand what your trigger is. And so, it's a lot of things that you gotta forge yourself into becoming this pro trader, right? And even then, right, for me, I still feel I still haven't reached heights that I would love to be at. But we're here and we're checking along, and so we'll see what happens. But for now, I'm still breathing, so until then, I'm gonna keep doing this. And the important part is that you do it the right way, right? And I definitely do believe ICT is definitely the way to go for beginners, or people that are intermediate. Anyways, I'm kind of going to a little rant, so let me just continue here. You got the 60-minute here, you got the 15-minute. I was really looking forward to this when news came out at 10 a.m. Eastern. The market, we took out buy stops here, then we took out sell stops, and I was looking for this area here for the market to come back and then be able to take out all these triple lows, double bottoms, all that relative equal lows here. And that unfortunately didn't happen. By the time it was already 11 a.m. Eastern, at that point I no longer like the trade. And what's important to see is this. Keep in mind, this is a 15-minute. In my previous videos, when I place the trade or the trades that I place, I'm usually doing it on the 5-minute. So keep in mind, the setups are all fractal, and they all happen in pretty much in all time frames. And as long as you're going with bias, with the bias that you're leaning towards more with, then that's really the bias you want to go with. And so because we took out sell stops here, or excuse me, buy stops, then we took out sell stops, I figured we're definitely going to continue heading lower. Like I said, due to 11 a.m. Eastern time, I don't like this anymore. If we go to a 5-minute, you can see this was looking very good right after the 10 a.m. Eastern news that lifted. And you can see it did go down, right? It did go down in that direction. However, you can see the fair value gap that was created here. The market barely even, it barely touched it and it went down. And I know that ICT has mentioned you want to place your sell order 1 pip above or so, or even just like right there. I would have gotten hit, but my pending order could have gotten hit. But keep in mind, you always got to think about the risk that you need to put in the market. You can either put your stop here at 14 points or above this this up block. That would have been good. For me, I'm very conservative, so I like to give the market space. I'll either do this or put my stop above here, which is this high. And so then my target is pretty much like a 1-to-1, just about. And I don't like that. I like at least a 1.5 to 2-to-1 for my risk to be good to go, right? And like I said, even then, the market barely even tapped it in here. It went down, and it pretty much just went down without me. So if we go back to the 15-minute, because this is fractal, you could go even to a lower time frame, for example, a 2-minute, and see if you can get the setup in this specific fair value gap of the 15-minute. You see, so hopefully you guys understand that concept. I'm pretty sure most of you do. If you're a beginner, hopefully you learn a thing or two from this, which I like to do a lot. If I see a fair value gap on the 15-minute or 1 hour, I'll use my 5-minute or my 2-minute to be able to get in and look for the setup. However, this low was never broken right here. This low wasn't broken. This low wasn't broken. And so we're not really seeing the setup we want to see. And you can see here, there's displacement to the upside, which that's what it looks like to me at this point. At this market wants to continue higher, especially because all this was rebalanced in here, and it looks like it's going to go higher first before we can go lower, and that's fine with me. But at this point, obviously, it's already after 12 p.m. This is all PM session, New York session. I don't trade this at all. I'm okay with waiting and seeing how the day closes today. What happens tonight? I'll take a quick little glimpse and see what we're looking at. And if we're going to the upside, then definitely, hopefully, tomorrow in New York session, we can get an opportunity for a trade to short this. My bias is, however, I still have a bias to go lower. However, you never know, right? Anything can change within a day or two or so, and this could easily continue higher here to take out sell stops up here, come into this fair value gap, and then head lower. Which I'm okay with too. And so this is the thing, right? Being okay with whatever happens in the market at any moment, right? And so this is why it's also important, if you're gonna watch the markets, obviously I watch it during my trading time zone, and then I watch it at night for, it's just a glimpse that I look at, maybe 10-20 minutes, just to see if my prediction is coming into fruition. It's not for my ego or anything. It's really just for my own bias, as far as me following euro dollar, for example. It just gives me a taste and be like, okay, am I in sync with the market? And if I'm not, then it may be a trigger point to either just back off or wait for more data. And you kind of just learn to manage yourself in that sort of way. I know it may you pretty much become you micromanage yourself in that sort of way. It may be annoying to some of you, but hey, it's something that I learned, that I had to learn how to do, and for me it benefits me, and that's what works for me. Yeah, it could be different for you, but anyways, like I said, that's pretty much it for today. Stay safe this week, and have a good one.